there's one thing that I know for sure, it's that whenever you are lacking meaning in your life, it is very easy to not like yourself. I know this because I felt like I was lacking meaning for pretty much the entirety of my 20s. Viktor Frankl says, when a man can't find meaning, he distracts himself with pleasure. Some signs that you're lacking meaning in your life: you're constantly doom scrolling, you're addicted to drugs, drinking often, watching porn, and all the bad habits that you can think of. I know that there are a lot of people out there who feel lost. And don't get me wrong, like, we all go through those periods of feeling lost. And I think that when we are feeling lost and we are lacking meaning, we feel like we're in the wrong place, or we feel like something's wrong with us. Where you are right now does have purpose, does have meaning, even if it feels like it doesn't. If you're feeling this sense of lacking meaning in your life, lacking purpose, then this is a good thing, because this is the first step to finding what that is that you want to pursue in your life. It is a matter of looking inward and wondering, why the fuck am I feeling this way? I remember, like, in 2022, 2023, when I was really trying to build an online business, coming from a background in freelance photography and filmmaking. COVID ended up having me pivot the direction that I was taking my business, because I didn't want a natural disaster to put me out of business again. So I was going down this rabbit hole of trying to figure this all out. And I just couldn't find the direction. Like, I couldn't find the purpose behind, what I was doing. And so every single day at 4 p.m., I was hopping out of work and going straight into video games. Distracting myself with pleasure. I used to be somebody who would never want to sit with myself, would never want to sit down and just be with my thoughts. I thought it was a waste of time. I was trying to run from my thoughts, so why would I want to sit with my thoughts? But the one thing that mindfulness has taught me is that the most rewarding, euphoric, and sustainable feeling there is out there is that relationship that you build with yourself, in solitude, in silence, learning how to be your own best friend. Learning how to nurture yourself like you would your own child. A newborn child, you're not going to sit there and chastise them. You're not going to point fingers at them and call them stupid or make them feel dumb or lost or behind. You're just going to love them. You're going to love them for where they're at. You're not going to expect anything more than where they are right now. And you're going to do what you can to encourage that person to step into the best version of themselves, or that baby. And that's the trick. What's causing you to distract yourself is this extreme discomfort that you have with being with yourself. And what causes that discomfort is the judgment you have towards yourself. So for me, I was constantly judging myself. I talked more about this in my last video if you want to go watch that. I was constantly judging myself because I felt behind. And what caused that feeling was this comparison trap, looking around me and constantly seeing other people who were, in the creative industry doing better than I was, getting more views, friends that I went to college with who were always buying houses. At the back of my mind, I just always felt behind. And the moment that I felt that feeling, I would immediately just turn on the PlayStation and just forget about it, because it's very easy to forget about your problems whenever you're playing video games. You'll know this one secret the moment you experience it. For me, I was practicing doing 10-minute meditations every day, and it would be about that 7th minute, after a period of really developing this habit, that 7th minute where I would really just tune into myself, to the point where the alarm would go off for 10 minutes and I wouldn't want to open my eyes. You just enjoy the peace and quiet. All of a sudden, those thoughts, they stop racing so much. You're not obsessing over about what could be or what isn't. You're just in the present moment. And that's where you make your best decisions, is when you're fully present. Sometimes whenever we are trying to create a massive life change, it's easy to just jump into this idea of taking action, when it's mostly about rewiring the frequency that you're operating from. And the way that you do that is by slowing down, meditating, allowing space, allowing time for solitude, intentionally carving out that time for solitude. Because on the other side of that is that feeling of presence, is that feeling of, okay, I see where I am. I see what's on my plate. Let's just clean the plate. I was talking about this with a buddy the other day, just like how easy it is for us to overcomplicate things. There's so much information out there and so many distractions, so many other people to compare ourselves to. But ultimately, we know what's best for us. We have an idea of a direction that we want to go. We know something that would light us up in the future if we were to perfectly define our lives from, let's say, 5, 10 years from now. I like to believe that you have an answer for it. The problem is that you just haven't created space for that answer to float to the surface. And this is why, again, mindfulness is so important. And if you're a creative or an aspiring creative, this is most definitely important for you, because creating content is a social game, and this fear of judgment is going to sit at the forefront of the table if you're not careful. There's so many different limiting beliefs that can pop into your mind and stop you from creating. And that's a problem. That's a problem because the world needs your voice. We need to hear what you have to say. We want you to create content because together we can make this world a better place. We can add meaning to each other's lives. Whenever I was first starting to pursue YouTube and to point the camera at me instead of, filming other people or taking photos of other people, I learned this the hard way. I had no clue what self-sabotage was till COVID, really. All that time by myself, all that time in the mirror. But when I started pointing the camera at me and started doing the thing that I wanted to do to try to, lean on my own agency and build something that I wanted, in came all of this self-sabotage. In came all of this doom and just heavy weight on my shoulders about who I felt like I needed to be instead of just being. And mindfulness and meditation truly saved my life. Being able to build that relationship with myself, I think, is why I'm here today making this video. I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what your purpose is in this video, but I'm going to give you the tools and the habits and the routines that helped me step out of that rabbit hole. There's this author named Simon Sinek who is famously written Start With Why. I believe in that book, if not in that book, somewhere in a podcast or something, he describes how purpose is like an onion. When we're 20, 25, maybe even younger, maybe not even then till later, we think that we have to have our whole entire life's purpose figured out before we do anything in life. When really your purpose can and will change over time. Just like layers of an onion peel off. Each layer is a layer of purpose. So right now, wherever you're at, if you have no clue where you're at, you're on the outer edge of the onion. You haven't even touched the onion. Now the goal is to just peel off that first layer. Maybe that means your purpose right now is to be curious about what your purpose is, right? Baby steps. You unpack, things that you've struggled with in your past. You ask yourself, maybe, how have I helped other people in the past already? What is it that I'm obsessed with? What do I dream the world to be like, either for others or for myself? What do I not want the world to be like for others or for myself? And that could be a great starting point. As you get older, you peel back layers of that onion. And the goal is to get to the core of that onion by the end of your life. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not next week, by the end of your life. And the only way to get to that core purpose is to get to the edge or the layer that's right outside of that purpose. In other words, baby steps. As you remain curious and you continue peeling back this layer, you'll get more answers, you'll get more clues. But if we distract ourselves from touching the onion, from peeling back the onion, we're never going to get to the core purpose. We're never going to get to that next layer. And this is why we have to protect our energy at all costs. This is why mindfulness comes in so much handy. I recommend that no matter what, you start small and avoid this desire to get to the core purpose as soon as possible. Start small. And if you're open to meditation, then I always recommend just do 5 minutes a day. Hell, do 1 minute a day until you feel good enough to raise it to 5 minutes. Whatever is going to be so simple and easy for you to start that you just start is the key. And over time, stack these baby steps to a point where you can just level up, get to that next layer of your onion, and just know that you're chipping away at your purpose. Know that you're chipping away at impact and how you can help the world and, serve others. If you can't figure it out for you, figure it out for other people. How have you helped people in the past? How can you smile at a stranger tomorrow? How can you do one little thing for your best friend that you normally wouldn't have? How can you make one extra phone call? Start by doing little things like that, because it's easy to make everything about you and to just feel so miserable that you can't figure it out, that all you want to do is just hop on Rocket League or hop on a video game at 4 o'clock. We have to remember that if we don't protect our boundaries when it comes to these distractions, ultimately we're not protecting the life that we want to live. I know that's true for myself, which is why, recently I had to fucking set a time limit on Instagram, because I still struggle with the fucking doom scroll. It's so difficult to, protect your boundaries with that when it's so easy to just pull it out. Not just Instagram, but like redefine your relationship with your phone. Right now, I have my phone hidden away in my desk, purposely not laid out so that I don't see it. And that is the key. When you don't see your phone, you're much more likely to not tap your phone and to see what notifications are on there. So when it's time to focus, when it's time to create space, when it's time to just be with yourself and peel back those layers, put your distractions to the side. Put your phone in another room. Don't have music with vocals on it. Don't have things that stimulate you. Because the coolest part about like removing stimulation, and the ironic part of it all, is that when you really start to feel that stillness and that sense of peace, it's like the most stimulating thing ever. I don't know. If you can relate with that, let me know in the comments and help me understand this feeling. It's one thing for me to talk about it, but I know I've talked to several people who have felt this feeling. I just don't know how to describe it. And I'm saying that because I want to encourage you to do whatever you can to just go in the gym. I promise you'll lose 10 pounds. Like, just go in the gym and I promise you'll get over your fear of judgment. Just keep going. And whatever it is, just keep going. Keep creating that space. Keep doing the thing that feels hard in the moment. And stop saying yes to distractions, because it's not making your life better. It's not making our lives better. And that version of you on your deathbed is definitely not going to be happy with it. There's so much power in creating space that I truly believe it could change anyone's life who's especially feeling a lack of meaning. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, check out the products in my description. I'm building a community right now. It's free to join, and there are some bonuses involved with joining that would really help you find meaning in your life. At least surround yourself with people who are peeling back the layers of their onion. And last but not least, if you want to connect on Instagram, my handle is at AshtonTJoe. Much love and good luck. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.